people that know a lot of this stuff, but people will be surprised to see, like, playing on a couple Beatles records. You played on Ringo Starr stuff and John Lennon. I mean, and I remember reading that when they came to meet you, when they first met you, that they bowed to you or something.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it, but they did. It was like their idea of reverence, I guess, or something. And
Oh yeah,
so I never knew until way later. They said, you know, the Beatles really did listen to a lot of Stax records. I said, really? They were listening to Motown too. And what was one of their first records that Paul was singing on? They did some Carl Perkins songs and some
oh
Sun.
yeah,
And, you know, when they really started early on things that were hits in the 50s, they were out in the 60s and still bringing them around. And that's pretty cool, I thought.
yeah.
Because a lot of the songs didn't really hit nationally. They hit local areas and around.
Right.
And so the Beatles put them on the map, I thought. So that's pretty cool.
This is a tough question and one that you may not be able to answer, but I thought it'd be interesting to ask you what I don't even think you can probably quantify this, but what do you think are the top three highlights of your career, or just some of the highlights? They don't have to be the top ones, but
I have no idea. I can name three artists off the bat.
oh yeah, that'll be fine.
One would be Booker T, the best instrumental player, musician I have ever worked with. Two of the best singers, Otis Redding and Rod Stewart. A lot of great singers, a lot of great players. But, I'm not going to, I did say but, and I didn't really mean it that way. It sounds a little negative. But so many great players I've been fortunate enough to work with, including the Beatles. Like you said, you brought them up. And I was going to say about the Beatles, if we had continued, that Paul is the only one I never actually went in the studio with. But I was in the studio with him when he was mixing something at Hyder, when he was out with the Wings.
Oh, okay.
With Lyndon and Wings. Yeah, I think it was Listen to What the Man Says, or one of those.
Oh yeah.
Band on the Run, that one. The one that has the thing that goes into strings in the middle and all that sort of stuff.
Oh right.
I don't even remember what I was working on. I was mixing something over Wally Hyder. Could have been Rod. I don't remember what it was. And they said, Paul is next door mixing a record, and he wants you to come over and say hello to him when you get a chance. So, okay, so I did that. Super guy. And I had met him a couple times. That's the reason it wasn't just out of the blue. I mean, I had met him at a party, and matter of fact, he invited me to. I went to the party because I got an invite. It was his party, the Paul McCartney party, and he had Michael Jackson there and everybody in the world at that party. And then I was invited to another one, the Venus to Mars party that he did, and that was pretty good. He had the Meters as a band playing the music and all the stuff, and Carl Malden was there, people like that, and it's just cavalcade of stars. You walk in there, with your jaw, pick it up until you get in the car and get home, and you go, I can't believe what I just did, and the people I just met is mind-boggling.
Right.
It really is. And you said what's the biggest? That'd be it. I think is just being around artists and all is the highlight of anything. And I've been lucky enough that I get to do it. I was doing it every day for about 9 or 10 years. And then I get to meet somebody like Belushi and Levon Helm, which we talked about a little bit about Levon. And so